So did you know Battleborn is shutting down in January 2021? I actually didn't know that, even though it's been common knowledge for a long time apparently. And I've seen the derision surrounding Battleborn. I just didn't care. When do I ever care about what other people think about a video game? I kind of just really wanted to play Battleborn someday because the story and characters and style looked really fascinating to me. I really wanted to get engaged in the world of Battleborn. And I figured it would be around a while. And even if it wasn't around a while, there's always the single player, which has local co op that I can play even when the servers go down, right? No, of course not. What do you think this is? A world where things make sense? In January 21, when Battleborn servers go offline, you will no longer be able to play the single player campaign or local co op the single player campaign. You know why? Because for some reason, the game reserves a goddamn server for you to play on when you play solo or co op in campaign. Absolutely fucking nuts. Now, the game shouldn't be dying no matter what, but the single player dying? That's just like an extra kick to the nuts, isn't it? Like, come on, why does the single player require a server check? Why do you have to play the single player on a server? And perhaps the worst of it is that 2K knew the way people were going to take this, 2K being the publisher of Battleborn, because in their official FAQ for this issue, the question specifically mentions single player. Like, will I be able to play single player when the servers go down? And they're like, no, you can't. And usually companies are careful not to call online only games single player in any capacity. Like, even for games like The Crew, which are perfectly playable in single player, it seems to me that everybody's very careful not to actually call them single player, or acknowledge that there's a valuable single player experience to be had. Because if they do that, then they acknowledge to their consumers that there is single player content worth playing without online functionality that for some reason still requires online functionality. But 2K didn't seem super concerned with that in the FAQ, or even acknowledging it directly or trying to justify it in any fashion. And maybe that's just because people don't care about Battleborn. I was actually under the impression a fair amount of people cared about and played Battleborn regularly, but that doesn't seem to be the case. That's not to discount the dozens of people that still do play Battleborn right now. I'm saying a fair amount of people, as in like a commercially viably large amount of people. And of course, I've gone through the usual rigmarole of emailing both 2K and Gearbox, and I was nicer to Gearbox in the email than I was to 2K because why wouldn't I be? Nobody wants their game to die, and it's probably 2K's fault that it's dying, them being the publisher and all that. Because even if it definitely is hopeless and those emails are never even read, I have to be able to say I tried. And I did also, while looking up information about Battleborn's shutdown, have to look through all those people defending online only games again, and that's always exhausting because their arguments are generally usually selfish, but they're disguised as being selfless. They're like, think about the poor company, or do you really think $60 for a few years worth of entertainment is being ripped off? And it's like, not about that. My situation alone is a great example of why online only games are stupid, because I really like Battleborn now that I'm actually starting to play it. And yeah, it's true, 2K is not making any money from me playing this game right now. This key was bought gray market by my friend Sammy, and I'm very thankful for that, by the way, Sammy, for you allowing me to play this game, which I was previously only playing through family share on someone else's Steam account. But I'm having a blast playing this game, and there's a lot of things I want to discuss about it. And I'm not even good at first person shooters. And who knows how many other people will have an experience similar to mine in the future, where they'll start up Battleborn and just, have a fucking blast and enjoy talking about it with their friends and family and playing co op or playing one of the many other competitive multiplayer modes that I'm not particularly interested in. But just because I'm not doesn't mean someone else won't be. It has nothing to do with companies making money or value for money. That's not why online only games shouldn't go down. Absolutely. $60 for 3 years worth of entertainment. Actually, it's 5 years. The game's been up 5 years, which still isn't very long, but $60 for 5 years of entertainment that you can play whenever you want is a fine deal financially, but it's not about deals or money. It's not about financial value. You're allowed to think that the $60 5 year experience you got was worth your money. That's completely independent of the game shutting down and no longer being accessible. It no longer being accessible is not a matter of financial value. It is a matter of other kinds of value that are far more important. And maybe you got all of that value that you wanted to, but maybe other people haven't yet. I just found a new video game that I love and am having a great time playing and talking about and just in general experiencing. And I should be allowed to experience it without some countdown timer looming over my head. I should be able to play the game at my own pace and come back to it years later to relive those memories or replay my favorite boss fights. So, no, I don't think anyone is saying that $60 for 5 years worth of entertainment is a bad deal financially. But satisfaction is not one size fits all, and there's more to art and culture than money. Speaking of there being more to the game than financial value or just getting your money's worth, there's a great article on IGN right now about Battleborn's remaining fans and how they're coping with the shutdown. And I think it's definitely worth a read, so you can see how this affects people that really love something that's being taken from them for no reason. At least, no good reason that I can surmise. Excuse me, did I say IGN? I meant EGM, but the link will be in the description to the EGM article. Another unfortunate thing about Battleborn being shut down is that even though it's shutting down in January 2021, I'm a little unclear on when. In January 2021, there is one tweet from 2K support that says the servers will be going down on January 25th, but it's only that one tweet. Everywhere else I look says it will be shut down by or at January 2021, implying that I only have until January begins to enjoy it. But the tweet says it will be January 25th. Which is it? Is that tweet by itself reliable information? It is coming directly from 2K support, who are the people who would probably know best about when the servers are going down, but it's just the one tweet. Their official FAQ still doesn't list a specific shutdown date, even though the tweet does. Again, maybe this is just because they don't care about Battleborn and don't expect too many other people to care either. But I would still like to know how much fucking time I have exactly. And lastly, in this depressing video, which really wasn't supposed to come after the last one, where I also talk about dying games, but they were both on my to-do list. Lastly, even though I wanted to play this online co-op with my brother and sister, their computers are incapable of running Battleborn. I kind of forgot how powerful my computer was in relation to theirs and normal people's computers. But my friend Sammy, who purchased this game key that I'm using right now, also purchased 2 other game keys for me to give to my brother and sister. Given that they cannot play with me, if anyone else would like to play online co-op story mode in Battleborn with me, I would love that. Please do keep in mind the game is dying, so if we're gonna play it, I want to actually play it. Do look up the minimum system requirements. It is a Steam key, and I'm gonna leave my Discord in the description, which I've been wanting to do in videos anyway, but I'm going to do it for this one in particular so people can talk to me about whether they want to play Battleborn with me. And I'm not through the story yet, so please no story spoilers. If you spoil anything that happens in the story, I will be very upset with you. Anyway, that's it for the video. Sorry if I sound miserable. Usually when I'm miserable, I don't sound miserable, and that's true here. I'm not exactly miserable, I'm just tired. I'm just so tired.